I wanted to say thank you to anybody who's liked, shared, subscribed my videos over the past, but I want to hear more from you. So I'm going to put out my little logo, which is right here, and I'm going to post that on my social media. I want you to take it and put in 3 pictures of your own. Come up with something, and I will read your name off and put it on the podcast. Okay. I want to hear back from you guys. I want this to keep growing, and I want you guys to feel like you're part of it too. Welcome back to The Best Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Russler. If it's your first time joining us, here's how it works. Anytime somebody tells you something's the best, it's just their opinion. So I'm on a quest to see if I can't figure out the best of everything. So I'm sitting down with some of my favorite people in the world to see if we can't get to the bottom of some of these hard-hitting questions. Today, my guest is Nicholas Cuvar. He is a comedian based out of St. Louis, Missouri. He is blind, but what he lacks in sight sure does make up for in laughs. He's also just one of my favorite people in the world. I love sitting down and talking to him. We talked about Halloween candy, Halloween costumes, scary movies, all kinds of instruments. It was a really fun time. I hope you enjoy the episode. On the block.
Dude, have you ever seen the movie or show Pretty Little Liars?
No, my wife did, though. She was big into it.
Of course she did. Yeah. You and me and your wife, the same person. So
that's why we're friends.
Monica and I watched it, and there's a blind girl in the show, and it is so accurate how anytime she comes clacking down the school hallway, just people get quiet. Even the background music changes because she's a bad guy in the show. But it's just,
she's a bad guy?
Oh yeah, man. She's part of it. Not spoiler alert, but she's involved with killing some folks.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry that you haven't seen it yet, but that is so accurate because, like, okay, last year, my brother and my sister also have this eye disease, and just my sighted sister Chrissy, myself, and my brother, we were walking into the hospital to visit my mom, and my brother he's a big boy, right? He's like 6'3", 200 some odd pounds. He's a power lifter. And he's just clacking his way into the hospital. And this dude sees him coming because he's a giant. And he just quietly tries to sneak over to the side of the wall. And my brother just starts veering that direction. The guy says fucking nothing. And then Kenny barrels into him. The guy still says nothing.
He says nothing?
Nothing.
Like, just let him hit him?
He just took the hit. And he just went
As
on.
You should.
Yeah, he just went on a boat. Because, I mean, really, obviously it's not Kenny's fault, but, dude, I don't know. I don't know why people treat blind people like that.
You know what? I've got a bone to pick with some of you blindies.
What?
All right.
First of all, we've been hanging out for an hour now.
Well, you just brought it to my attention, and I wanted to discuss this with you. I was outside of. It doesn't matter. I was outside of a bar. It was Megan Tweedy's show, the Grizzly Bear. I wanted to say the Buffalo, but it's the Grizzly Bear, right? So we're outside of the great Grizzly Bear, and this guy with a blind cane comes walking up to us. I'm standing by the front door. I see him. I reach out. I open the door and I go, "Here, I got you, man." And he stopped and goes, "Actually, just because I have a blind cane doesn't mean I'm blind. A lot of us can see quite well." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "I can actually get the door myself." And so I let go of the door and it hit him in the face. And then he got mad at me. And I'm like, "You just told me you could see the door. Like, I tried to do the nice thing. And then you told me I was being an ableist. Who's in the wrong here?"
100% him.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can see quite well. Okay, first of all, get rid of the stick. I don't know why anybody. Why would anybody want the stick? Like, it makes things so awkward anytime you show up with a stick. The only reason I carry the stick is because public bathrooms. That's it. Like the stories I tell on stage about weird things that have happened to me in bathrooms.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Dude, it's the worst place because everybody's exposed. Luckily, I have never had a weird story with a child involved, but that is one of my biggest fears. Is like how I have to feel for the urinal as I walk up, but if I do that and just like grab the back of a child's head.
Yeah, you can't forget that stick ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just hold it till you get home.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only two options you have in that scenario. I don't think.
But that dude's 100% a dick to be like, oh,
Yeah.
actually.
I thought so. I was like, oh man, I was just trying to be nice to you, and here you go, smacking my hand away or whatever.
Dude, I honestly hate saucy handicapped people. I hate
Yeah.
them because, like, listen,
Yeah.
people don't know how to treat me, and I understand that. But it's like whenever people try to do something nice, even if it's kind of dickish, or if I'm like, okay, that's a bit much, you
Yeah.
know, it's like you still have to practice being grateful that at least somebody's like, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
But I mean that happened, you know, months ago. I was at St. Charles Funny Bone, and just some random person, tried to help me off stage, and I was like, I got it. You know what I mean? But I'm also like, you know what I mean? I've been on this stage at this point plenty of times. I know where I'm at. But
Hundreds of times.
But also, I'm not going to be like, fuck you, lady.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I mean, and nobody would be on her side. That's the thing, is you have a pass. You have a free pass. My favorite part. Okay, we got to address this as well. Real quick. We got to address this. My favorite part about hanging out with you is that you are an avid vapor.
Uh-huh.
And because you're blind, this is one of those free passes that you get. Because I can't tell you the number of times we've gone out to a comedy club and they'll tell someone sitting at a table close by, sir, please stop vaping. And they're like, oh, okay, my bad. And then you will just hit a loud rip and you blow it under the table. Like, for whatever reason, it's going to stay down there.
Again, it's because I'm thoughtful. Go on.
But instead, it just looks like your crotch is smoldering. So everyone else is just looking around like, are we going to say something? Are we not? And you're just like...
I got that fire crotch, bro.
Or when you blow it into... Sometimes I've seen you blow it into your shirt.
Uh-huh.
But you don't forget... I mean, you forget that your shirt is actually quite porous, and that the smoke just comes straight through. So all of a sudden, your breasts are on fire. You
Sizzle
have hot
chest.
nipples. Yeah. That's my favorite thing to do, is to just sit there and like look at the staff, and they're looking at you, and then they look at me, and I just shrug, and I'm like, I'm. You can tell him if you want,
Dude. Not too long ago at Helium. Monica and I think this was during the competition. We were sitting in the back. You know, we find a table off to the side so I can have my panic attack before I go on. And, you know, we're at the table by ourselves. We're probably a good solid 25 feet away from anybody, right? We're both vaping. And the worker comes up and only tells her to stop vaping.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, sucks, babe.
Yeah. Sucks to suck. And then you just... that's one of my all-time favorite things to watch, is to just see you like, oh, you think in your head you're getting away with it, but it's actually, I mean, it would be less obvious sometimes if you were to blow it into the air, because there's like fans and stuff above you. But when you blow it under a table, man, it goes down, but then it just comes right back up. So everybody just sits there like a cloud just magically appeared out of nowhere, and like, oh, what is this?
Oh, that clearly that's just the haunted table in this room. No, yeah, of course there are some perks to this life.
Yeah, it's all ups and downs, right? It's about finding that silver lining, you know? You could probably pee in public, and if anybody caught you, you'd just be like, this isn't the restroom? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It was an emergency, and I couldn't find it. And they'd probably be like, all right.
Has 100% happened. Dude. Years ago, I was on this is back whenever I was still drinking, so it has to be at least 10 years ago or so. But I was on a float trip, and so also my eyes have gotten a lot worse. So anyway, it's nighttime, and I don't know where I'm at. I'm hammered. I'm blind. Well, night blind, and I walk past the tents, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna pee here. I didn't know if there was another campsite next to ours. I didn't really care because I'm drunk, and I just start peeing, and all of a sudden I just see headlights coming towards me, and I was like, ruh-roh. And it is literally it was like the camp like
a
secure
park ranger
he
or
was a
something?
park ranger. He was on a four-wheeler, and this dude's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a public campground. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm blind. And he was like, oh geez, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just here's a tree over here.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, it's great. It probably could have been a charge of some sort, which maybe I shouldn't have admitted that on a podcast. Edit this out.
No, you're fine.
Take this part.
Yeah. You're blind.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm blind. I couldn't see.
I thought I was at a tree.
I thought she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
No, that got weird. We'll take that part out. No, thanks for coming to do it. I appreciate you. I thought that I would sit down and see if I can't. I asked you some questions beforehand, like what are things you're into, and it was all shit that have no idea about.
No.
So I put together some slides to see if we can't crack some of these. We're gonna start easy,
Yeah.
all right?
Thanks for the slides, by the way.
Well, I'll read them off to you. We also have people that only listen, but they can watch along with us if they go to YouTube, type in ER Comedy.
I do both. I go to YouTube and listen. It's quite nice.
You go to YouTube.
Yeah, you can do the two.
Well, I was about to say that's kind of your only option.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the other day, whenever you explained all the visual aspects, I was like, oh, this is a good podcast.
I don't know if you know this or not, but we're actually in the woods right now behind us. You're in, I think, Appalachian State National Park, and I believe I'm somewhere near Gatlinburg. And
That's fitting. I have worse teeth than you. I should be a mountain person.
Okay. I like that you think. I've been thinking about like things that I could do, like bits that we could do for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I looked into getting a police sketch artist because I wanted to have you describe what each comedian that you're friends with looks like to a police sketch artist, and then see how close it is to the actual like, don't feel anybody's face, just be like, I think Ronaldo looks like this, and then just I think that would be really fun, but apparently they are quite pricey.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But, well, okay, couple things. One, I don't know how other blind people feel. I hate feeling faces. I don't like doing, and also I can't do, I played guitar for so long, all my fingertips are calloused. So I'm not getting anything, like I can't read Braille because of these calluses. So like I finger pick my way into illiteracy. Okay. But then also, yeah, if I feel someone's face, it's legit just to be like, okay, I think you need a dermatologist. I'm getting nothing
Also,
from it.
It's gross. I see people's faces and I don't want to touch most of them.
Yeah, especially after comedy shows, because like they pack them in there. If it's a good show, and then people are sweaty, and
Yeah, it's hot under those lights. I get off all the time, and I'm like, whew, I'm about to become a towel comic. That was how I decided I needed to start losing weight.
Yeah.
Because I was considering bringing a washcloth with me just to be like, woo, just to wipe it off. And I'm like, I can't. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. Fat white guy on stage with a sweat cloth. Mm-hmm. It's a bad look.
Well, okay, back a second though. It's like in my head. So like, unfortunately, sorry to say unfortunately, I have seen you before. Whenever my eyes were a little bit better, like a couple years ago, I had cataract surgery. So like the little tunnel I got in righty, whenever, specifically at Improv Shop, whenever that mic was going, that spotlight.
That was when I first started.
That spotlight was so bright, that I could kind of make out people's faces. But generally, I make people cartoons. Your cartoon, now that I can't see you anymore, you are like an Eeyore, except you're wrapped in an American flag. Or a Confederate flag, depending on how I feel about you that day.
Well, I liked the first part, and then you took. I mean, Look, it's not the first time I've been compared to Eeyore, all right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt as much as it did the first time. However, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think I'm at least part owl, you know? Like, I know I'm not full Tigger, but I mean, I have moments, you know? I think I'm smarter than Eeyore.
You've never talked about a Tootsie Pop to me, so you cannot be owl.
Well, that's the owl from the... I'm talking about if we're... I mean, look, if we're staying within the confines of the 100-acre woods, then I would say that I align with it. I identify as owl.
Listen,
you know? I might be... I'm not... I'm too young to be Roo, right? I'm not energetic enough to be Tigger. I'm too big to be Piglet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pooh is... let's face it, don't give off main character energy. You know, Rabbit is too neurotic. I'm not OCD enough to be Rabbit. I don't think.
I feel like you could either be Piglet's uncle. Let's see.
Piglet's uncle.
Yeah. You could be Piglet's uncle if like he lived on like just a trailer that's randomly in these mountains behind me. That would work.
Yeah. His name would be like Porklet. This is Uncle Porklet. And he's like, ew.
Wearing a wife beater.
He's got a wife beater and a couple of like bad tattoos. Yeah, because you know they practice on pigs or whatever. So I've got a couple amateur tattoos. It's like,
yeah,
what's up? I'm Porklet.
You just have a farm brand.
Yeah, it's a USDA B. Like it's not even the A, like grade A meat. It's the... Oh, well, that's sad. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be that narrow-minded guy, or generalize, but I do think all owls are the same.
Well,
Going back
you
to
would
the
be
owls.
wrong because there's the horned owl and a barn owl and whatever Harry Potter had, the white one.
They both killed that lady on the staircase.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a 1 in a million?
Yes.
That's insane.
I 100% believe that theory.
Oh, I do too.
100%.
I do too. Owls are insane, and they're silent. Did you know they're absolutely silent when they fly? They don't make any noises. I'll send you a video that you can listen to.
Oh, great.
No, that's
so
the whole point of it.
A video
It's
of silence.
ASMR. By the way, you're the one who explained to me what ASMR was, and I thought it was like a sex thing. I thought it was like a porn thing.
It is for some people.
Well, I could see how that would be your thing. Like I would be like, oh, I get it. I'm just saying. I mean, sounds. That's probably a big trigger, right? Mm-hmm. You know, but sight obviously is out. So, but anyway.
Yeah, for me, it's like if I hear somebody like splashing around in milk, I'm like,
how do you know it's milk?
I have no idea. it's just a little bit more viscous, and I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about, babe. Get over here.
If you're gonna splash around in water, you got to make sure it's thick.
Yeah.
I want that cream.
Put some oats in there first.
Put some overnight oats. Yeah, nothing like boobs and steel cut oats. No, I don't even remember what I was gonna say, but.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Yeah, who knows, man.
Owls.
Oh, yeah, that's right, owls. But, yeah, I believe that owl attacked that lady's head.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There was something else I had going, but I couldn't. Dude, it's gone.
The fact that they had, it only, there was like, 10 or 12 episodes of The Staircase, and they mentioned that owl for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Owl feathers in her hair.
Yeah.
And yet you're still going to say it's this dude just because he's doing other dudes. Just they're discriminating on a dude just because he has, you know, a side life.
I mean,
which don't get me wrong, don't cheat, but
yeah, I was about to say I feel it sometimes like I have a side life because I have like my dad's side and my husband's side when I'm at home, and then I come to the city and I'm
just an
comedian.
Animal.
Yeah, just an idiot, you know. I'm just a loser or whatever, but I feel like I have a side life, but my wife hasn't run into any owls
yet. How many?
She did actually. She almost got lost a finger to a snapping turtle one time.
What? That's a different animal, but go on.
I know, but wildlife. I mean, I just had back surgery, and a snapping turtle wandered into our backyard, and she went out to try to help, but I didn't. She was like, "Oh, there's a turtle. I'm gonna go help it get around the fence or whatever." And I was like, "Okay," not thinking anything of it, not knowing it's a snapping turtle and they're mean. And she went down to reach for it, and man, that neck shot out and like that, and she screamed and ran inside. And I'm like, "Yeah, just let him go. Let him go on his own. I can't bend over and pick anything up." So,
dude, everything in the world, terrifying. Turtles, get the fuck out of here, man.
It's all depending on how close they are. You know what I mean? The amount of terrifying to cuteness, it all depends on range, right? Like a raccoon at 15 feet, adorable. A raccoon at 6 inches, holy shit. You know, like time to fight.
Okay, but I don't have that.
That's
okay.
Oh yeah.
So like,
okay, good point.
We go down to visit Monica's family from time to time, obviously, and they live in Steelville, which everybody knows Steelville for, you know, floating, but it's just rural, you know. And her parents live on a couple acres. They have they are country living, and we're out there one night, we're having a fire, and her stepdad just randomly is like, "Yeah, we've seen a lot of coyotes lately, and there was a bear we saw 2 weeks ago." And I was like, "Get me the fuck inside, bro." Are you kidding me? We're out here cooking food on a fire. They can smell from miles away, and I can do nothing.
It's terrifying.
I don't even know where the door to the cabin is. You know?
You can't. Oh, that would be terrible, dude. I feel so bad for you. I'm sorry for laughing, but it's also funny to think like it is a whole nother element of.
Yeah. I try to explain my anxiety to people, and they just don't get it. And I'm just like, anywhere I am at any point in time, and this probably is just general anxiety on top of it, but I'm like, I could be murdered at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry if I'm a little standoffish sometimes. I'm kind of freaking out.
Yeah, I could understand. That's why earlier when we parked and we were walking to the studio, you're like, "We're not crossing any streets, are we?" I was like, "Why? No, it's a sidewalk. What are you talking?" And then I realized, like, "Oh, yeah. Like, Frogger was a fun game for me, but for you, for you,
it was a fucking prophecy, bro."
Yeah. But then again, I don't know. That wave that cane around, I think people would make way.
Less than you think.
Well, I did see a sign today on the side of the road that said, "Hey, St. Louis, it's speed limit, not speed suggestion." And I was like, the next month's sign is going to be like, "Come on, please, just go, please. Come on, guys." Because they just, no one cares. I saw a temp tag today from 2019. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's a good one.
Bold.
That's bold. But again, I mean, you can get away with it.
On my street, there's a sign about like, okay, there's a deaf person in the neighborhood, and I don't get my sign, and it pisses me off. Ain't nobody told me I got my sign yet. Been living on that street for 15 years.
Yeah. Well, don't they mainly do it for kids? Like blind children at play or whatever.
Oh, okay. So it's just cool for me to get blumped.
Yeah, well, I mean, past your prime, you know what I mean?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. If you're old enough to consent, you're old enough to cross the street and take your chances. I don't know. I don't know how Illinois does things. I don't feel like Illinois is set up for population control. You know what I mean? Like or maybe it is. Maybe that's just it. Maybe they're like, we're not going to fix this pothole. Maybe someone will be drunk and flip their motorcycle 9 times and then make room for the new generation.
Man, that got dark quick.
It does a lot with me. I apologize. I can't help it. Somebody said that the other day. They were like, "Man, I wish I could like crawl into your imagination and walk around." And I was like, "Well, bring a flashlight because it gets dark." You know?
Man, I don't want to be inside anybody else's head.
No, I'm having a lot of fun in mine. I'm good.
Yeah, but you also, over time, you learn how to go through the maze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that I'm a little bit older, yeah, I enjoy my brain. But if anybody else goes in there, it ain't going to be pretty.
Well, this is I mean on a bigger scale of that. Have you ever accidentally left like my notebook? Sometimes I've left it before, and then I realize I've left it, and I'm like, my thoughts are just out there in the wild. Oh my gosh, like
Yep,
it is
yep.
terrifying to know that like someone might have a peek inside my brain, and it's all things I plan on saying on stage, but sometimes the first time it comes out, it's not ready for the public. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Sometimes you have to write this down and be like, no, that's way too dark. That's way too dark. I had this conversation the other day that I was trying to think. We were somehow, some way, we got on the conversation of Anne Frank, right?
As you do, yeah.
As you do, normal everyday stuff. And we were just sitting there, and I said, I really hope she was shot. And they looked at me like, why would you say that? And I was like, I really hope we all know she was killed by Nazis. Shooting seems like the most humane way to go out. She either starved to death, worked to death, gas chamber,
Burned up.
Like, yeah, like all of these experiments that they did, like shoot it. Like, I hope she was shot. I hope it was quick. You know what I mean? Like, I hope she didn't suffer. And people are like, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry that my version of Anne Frank didn't suffer enough for your, like, I don't know. Like, I just like, why was it bad for me to hope that she went out quick? You know, like she was a young girl. I don't want her to suffer. I'm sorry that.
Yeah, she had already suffered living behind a bookcase for
however
long.
Yeah. I mean, look, you don't want any of it to happen, but we know it happened.
Any of it?
I don't know if you've heard what's going on in the world right now.
Comedy podcast.
Comedy. These are jokes.
I swore. Man. I told myself I wouldn't say anything to get me canceled. Well.
Oh, it's so hard. Oh, dude, it's so hard. It's so hard to joke now because you're like, someone's going to look at this in 15 years and take it out of context.
Oh, yeah.
And then tell
people
me
are going to get mad that I said all owls are the same.
I was mad at you that you said all owls are the same.
People are going to be like, aren't you vegan? How dare you?
Actually, the first gift I ever got on this podcast, shout out Austin Campbell, gave me a little mosaic owl that I keep right here on my
oh shit, I was supposed to bring a gift?
No, it's okay.
That's technically
my blind cane. I will gladly take your blind cane. I will hang it up with all my Marine Corps decorations. Then watch you try to get out of the building.
Yeah. It can't be any more difficult than getting in here. Oh, damn.
This is actually technically the second gift I ever got on this podcast. The first gift I ever got was a small bottle of Irish Spring soap body wash. James Boucher dressed up like a leprechaun and came in and handed out Irish Spring soap to everybody.
Oh, cool.
And Stag beers because they were golden.
The cheapest soap on the market.
Yeah. But he went.
Hey, do you have eczema?
You know what's really weird is that we were trying to do something for a St. Patty's Day episode, and we just hit up James because he's got red hair, long red hair, red beard, and we were like, hey, would you dress up like a leprechaun and come on the podcast? And he's like, I've actually got a costume, and so we were like, oh, perfect, yeah, which is so funny because. He had to come into the building at like 10 o'clock at night and walk past the security guard downstairs and be like, yes, I'm holding. He had a small cauldron filled with Stag beers and Irish Spring soap. And the guy had to come and let him up to the ninth floor, whatever.
Wow, he committed.
Yo, commit to the bit. James is 100%. James, shout out.
100%.
You're a real one. Okay, let's get into some questions here. I asked you some of the stuff that you like, and you basically said that you're into anything that involves the devil, witchcraft, ghost hunting, Halloween. All things that scare the ever-living crap out of me, but all right. You said you really are into music. I know nothing about music, but I'm prepared to battle you to the death on some of these questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, you seem like the embodiment of piano, man.
Well, that leads into our first question. My first slide here is which is the best instrument? We have drums, guitar, and piano.
Okay.
Best instrument of all time.
If this... Fuck. That changes my answer. No, you know what? It doesn't. Okay? I'm going to say piano had it for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's electric guitar now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What?
Why electric guitar? Go
Because
ahead.
okay, electric guitars only existed for like in its current state probably 50 years, but before like the early electric guitars like back in the 40s, so they haven't been around that long. Technology is dope. You can do the most with a guitar. You can make the most sounds out of guitar. Where at piano, you're going to get that same grand piano every time you sit down. A D sounds like a D every time. But you get yourself an electric guitar, you can make that D sound like a saxophone if you want to.
That's interesting. Here's why you're wrong. Because it's drums. There is...
Okay. I didn't think...
It's drums.
It is.
There's no way that it's not drums.
I think it's hilarious that I'm like, okay, the debate is between these two. And you're just like, no, it's option 3.
It's literally the drums.
Curveball.
It is, name a more primitive instrument. Name an instrument that when a drum gets going, you don't feel it in your chest, that thump, thump, thump. It gets the body going. It gets the people going. There's a billion different drum types. The steel drum, the bongo drum, the 7-piece with the cymbals and everything.
Mm-hmm. Keep naming drums. I want to see how far you can go.
I'm running out very quickly because I'm tambourine, technically a drum. Technically a drum.
Well, I mean, it's under percussion.
That was a shot in the dark. I'm glad you backed me on that. I was trying to think of anything you beat,
Yeah, the big boys are the timpanis.
Okay, so triangle, part of a cymbal, part of a drum kit. I'm going to call it. Drums are so diverse. Nothing gets people going more than a good drum solo. A good guitar solo, sure, it might be entertaining for a minute or two, but you don't react to a guitar solo the way you do a drum solo.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, I assume you only listen to Keith Urban, so I don't think you've ever heard a proper guitar solo. Okay, and don't get me wrong, dude, there are some drummers out right now that they are reinventing the wheel. They're amazing. The dude, I'll say his name. Nobody will know him. There's a guy named Nick Pierce.
Shout out Nick Pierce.
Nick Pierce. He was a drummer in the metalcore band Unearthed. Now he's in As I Lay Dying, and I think he's the best drummer on the planet. He's insane, okay? But he's a 10 out of 10 drummer. And there are some guitar players out there who I think are like a 6.8 out of 10 who still make such awesome noises out of their guitars that I still give it to them. Over the best drummer in the world.
No. Well, I don't listen to Keith Urban. I do listen to the greatest guitarist of all time, Chris Stapleton. And I think that...
You dummy.
I did that just for your reaction.
You fool. Oh, my God. Okay, podcast over. Call it.
Cut the lights. We're done. No. I know nothing about any music, so I literally did this just to debate you. But I
don't even know if Chris Stapleton plays a guitar, if I'm being honest.
He does.
Okay.
He does. He if I had any type of producers or anything, I would be like, pull this up, and we would listen to the sickest guitar riffs of all time.
Yeah. Look, it's a C, a G, and a D.
Hey. You know what? I don't want to hear it. It's pretty good, but drums. I'm gonna go with drums over electric guitar because it's only been around for 50 years. It can't be the greatest instrument of all time if it's just been. That's like saying that the iPhone's better than the wheel. Like without the wheel, we wouldn't be here.
Whoa.
We wouldn't be here.
Is that the new debate?
Yeah, the iPhone is. Yeah, the wheel is clearly a better invention than the iPhone. Sure, it doesn't have as many uses as the iPhone, but without the wheel, we would not be to the point of having an iPhone. Same with electric guitar and drums, right? Because the iPhone is just a telephone.
You think a guitar is derivative of drums?
I think that, as far as music goes, I think so, yeah. I think that drums definitely came first in the evolution of human music. There might be like a ram's horn for a trumpet or something, you know? But drums were, I guarantee you that the very first musician ever started by slapping his thigh or maybe a nice rock. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they drummed with, but they drummed. I think we can all agree that beats started first before strumming.
I'm surprised you actually got 4 in a row that were on time. That's how not
Were
into
they?
music you are.
Were
Yeah.
they into?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
That sounded
Did you hear
like
that, babe? I'm doing it. I'm learning.
You were almost a metronome for a second.
Oh, I'm just kidding. She doesn't watch this book.
Dude, how could you say the wheel is better than an iPhone?
The wheel is better than the iPhone because of its significance to history.
I don't give a shit about the significance to history.
But you wouldn't be here without the wheel. None of us would be here. Without the wheel, like, think about it. The wheel, I live 100 miles from this studio. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get here today, right? Without that little detour into North Korea that you call Illinois. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get. Without the wheel, it would have taken me 4.5 days to get here.
Okay, now, but do you not think that maybe if you hadn't made it, that would have been for the better? You ever think about if this was a one-man podcast and I'd have just shown up and been like, "Hey, everybody, drums are stupid. Also, fuck the wheel." That right there, that's a show, man.
So you're saying that the only thing that would make all of these, so you're blaming the wheel for me being here today?
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in fact, I'd say Exhibit A in your condemnation.
Because the wheel helps me in my career, you say that it's less of an invention?
Yes.
That's how much of a detriment I am to
Yes.
society?
You gotta do the cons with the pros.
Okay. All right. Well, agree to disagree on that one. You said that you're into fitness, right?
Hell yeah, man.
So I was going to ask you, what do you think is the best type of exercise? Okay, and I've got some examples here.
Okay.
All right, which exercise is overall best for the body? We have keg throwing, which from like the Scottish Highland Games.
Yeah.
We have goat yoga, where you do yoga with a goat on
What?
your back.
That's a thing?
That's a thing. I have a picture of it right here on the screen. I know you can't see it. I'm sorry, but it is. It's like a 90-pound white girl doing a push-up position, and there's a black and white goat on.
Why'd they
her
pick
back.
a goat?
I don't know.
Of all
Apparently,
animals.
goats are super playful, and they like to climb on people while they pose. And then our third option is competitive ribbon dancing. Which one do you think is best? For the overall fitness of a human being, which shows the best athleticism? Scottish Highland keg throwing, goat yoga, or professional ribbon dancing, competitive ribbon dancing, like in the Olympics.
Oh, okay. Dude, I remember watching that whenever I was a kid. That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go out of these 3 choices. I'm gonna go with the goat yoga, just because I like petting zoos, and I wish I was bendy.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I'm going with.
I also wish I was bendy. I am very rigid.
You used to do yoga.
And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Dude, I can't. Yeah, we're back surgery bros.
Woo! Despite what everyone on the internet is telling me that I am obese and overweight and everything, I'm not actually.
Everyone on the internet.
Everyone got together and they're like, "We hate the wheel because it allows you to do your job, and you suck, you fat piece of shit."
Maybe stop eating at Quick Trip.
Yeah, I have actually. Just so you know,
Good for you.
I know you can't see it, but I have lost some weight.
I hugged you about an hour ago.
Yeah, I know. And you were like, I can't tell. My wife told me that the other day. She gave me a hug and she was like, "Hey, I can reach much further around than I could before." And I was like, "Oh, nice."
When's the last time your wife gave you a hug?
It's not very much. She's physical touch is just not her thing. All right, it's just not like she's loving. Babe, I love you. You're the best. You're awesome. Physical touch is not her strong suit. She's very analytical. She's very good at words of affection. Very good at that. Not
Yeah.
wow, this really took a deep dive into the question was goat yoga or keg
Here's the
throwing?
thing, though. Totally relate. Monica's the exact same way. Physical touch is probably her bottom of the love languages. You know what I mean? But honestly, I love it. I love it. Now, I don't mean to get too serious on here, but I don't know if you could tell by looking at me, I was a douchebag for a lot of time. Still, working on the douche tendencies. But like,
Yeah, it's still coming out of your hair. You look like every bully from every 80s movie.
you mean all this hair that I still have?
Yeah, that's true. I'm lashing out.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, again, I know comedy podcast, but like getting better at the other forms of intimacy, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool when you're like, hey, I think I'm making this other person happy.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's fun to not focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's crazy, right? It took me 40 years to get there.
You're not 40, are you?
I am 40.
You are 40?
I am.
I didn't know you were that much older than me.
Oh yeah, dog. I'm just really immature and I talk about poop and pee all the time.
Well, you're also in much better shape. You're aging except for one aspect, you're aging much better than I am.
What's that aspect?
Well, you can't see.
That has nothing to do with age, dog.
Well, I wouldn't say it has nothing to do with age. I would say that my son could see better than my 68-year-old mother.
I mean, I get.
She might also have. Did I tell you clip?
Are we keeping this part out?
Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna stop where I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. That's the weird part about having a podcast is sometimes you just forget that you're hanging out with your buddy and you're just talking, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, somebody might not want this information out in the world. So yeah. Anyway. Goat yoga or keg throwing? No, I'm going to go with competitive ribbon dancing because of the cardio aspect of it. Because you're running and jumping, you have the flexibility that you would get from the goat yoga, as you flail through the air. Plus, you have to have some type of rhythm, right? So everything is moving. I would love to say that the keg throwing, but honestly, it's just max effort for like 10, 15 seconds, and then it's over.
Yeah, you just blow your shoulders out real quick, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess goat yoga would have to be one of the more stationary yogas, but like you can do cardio yoga.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you work a goat into it. I think it's stupid that they did that in the first place.
It is. It's dumb. It's a fad. It's like hot yoga. It'll be gone in a couple years, and people will be like, hey, remember when people used to do that? They'll find out that the goats were like sexually assaulting all the yoga, just like that other guy. Oh, very nice.
Cool.
Yeah, man, that Kevin Hart juice is really getting to you.
My God, I recommend Kevin Hart powder to everyone. I don't even know what it's called. Whenever we buy things, Monica's like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, Kevin Hart makes it. It's powder. I was like, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a superfood. It's juice. It makes me fart. It's got if you touch my foot one more goddamn time.
Sorry. We're in a confined space. I know we're outdoors, but we have to be close together for the camera angles. So we've got the next question I have for you, the next slide, which is weird that you brought up nutrition, because I have which one's the best diet? Vegan, Mediterranean, or paleo?
Okay. The only one that matters is vegan.
Oh.
As I've been vegan for over 2 years now.
Wow, you couldn't even wait to tell us that, huh?
Yep.
I'm surprised we made it this long without you bringing it up.
Dude, even whenever I don't do my vegan bit on stage, I just real quick tell people, hey, I'm vegan. Anyway, tattoos are weird. Am I right? I gotta get my quota in for the year, And this Adam Conover weekend that just happened, you had almost 300 people in the room every time. So I almost got like 2 years of veganism out of the way. I get to stay in the clique.
I feel like veganism is definitely the Mormon of the diets, because I feel like you guys talk about it so much, and just want to bring in new members.
No. I tell people I'm vegan because I'm curious if anybody has any vitamin B. That's why I tell people. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty tired. Does anyone... I'm vegan, so you know I'm struggling. Help, please. And no one ever helps.
He fell asleep twice on the ride over.
Dude, it's the hardest part about being vegan is every vegan restaurant closes at 6 p.m.
Yeah, because everybody's sleepy.
Exactly. And you know, I hate having to work, and then like I generally don't eat before I go on stage.
Me either. I hate it.
Yeah,
I feel
so
sluggish.
It's like, you know, get done at a show at midnight, and then it's like, oh great, I get to eat veggie fiesta burritos from Taco Bell again.
See, that's the thing.
Hold on. With no sour cream, no cheese,
Of course.
and we have to take off the chipotle sauce.
You have to take off the chipotle sauce?
Mm-hmm.
I would never.
I didn't know my phone's volume was on, so sorry about that.
It's okay.
That was even my phone being like, that's rough, bro.
It's Taco Bell notifying you, like, new vegan chipotle sauce.
Yep. But dude, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what the Mediterranean diet is.
It's like, it's a combination of vegan and paleo, kind of. It's like what they would eat in Greece, like lots of seafood, some chicken, vegetables, very little fruit, I think. It's hard for me to tell. It's like peppers, looks like peppers, eggplant, lemons, fish, broccoli, chicken.
But hear me out. Paleo diet is based on what cavemen used to eat, right?
Right.
Are cavemen around anymore?
No.
So I could say that's not a good diet. Anyway, they're all dead. They all had weird square teeth. Don't like them.
They have weird square teeth.
Yep.
I would think that their teeth would be sharper because they're mostly meat for cutting.
Listen.
Square teeth are molars, and they're for mashing.
But here's
That's
the truth.
what vegans would have. Because cows have square teeth.
I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. But cavemen.
How many mouths have you felt of a Neanderthal? Huh? How many did you go? You go to the what was the first body? Lucy. You know there's some mummified body somewhere that's like dated the first human ever.
I thought Lucy was either a T-Rex that's in a Chicago museum, or that was the sheep they cloned.
I think it's both. I think
damn.
it's, but I know
you get different fucking
I know,
name,
right?
Man.
Right?
You got so many names.
I thought a Lucy was a cigarette by itself. Hey, what are we doing?
It was funny in the 80s.
Yeah, it's still funny today. Hey. Well, all right. No one else is going to enjoy this, but I'm glad you and I are having fun.
Anytime
okay.
you get to add a I'm in.
Okay. Here we go. You said that one of the things that you are really into is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
You love Halloween, huh?
You damn right, man.
All right. So we're going to go with what is the best classic Halloween costume? Werewolf, vampire, or ghost?
Ghost has been canceled.
That's only when the hood is pointed. You know, if it's rounded on top, you got to really make sure it's rounded.
I'm from Granite City, so one and the same. Really.
That's true. I do feel like if your kid says they want to go as a ghost for Halloween, they've already given up on life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, Mom, just throw a sheet over me. I'll cut some eyes holes.
Yeah.
Like that kid needs Lexapro.
But yeah, also, man, growing up, I mean, we had the ghost option because we were poor. But like, I was like, Mom, we have flannel sheets. I'm not gonna be a lumberjack ghost, bro.
You're the ghost of the brawny man.
Just roll me around the floor, clean up messes.
This is Paul Bunyan's ghost.
Blue ox.
Blue.
Oh man, okay. I'm best one vampire.
Vampire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, now I'm not. This is just in general. Vampires are cooler than werewolves because vampires get to be vamps every night. They get up, they get to on something. Whereas werewolves, you don't even know they're a werewolf, but one night a month.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
It's like my comedy career. You don't even know I'm a comedian, but one night.
And if you miss it, you got to wait till the next full moon.
Exactly. And fucking nobody considers me.
I wholeheartedly disagree. Vampires are hands down the worst, like people. First of all,
Where's people?
yeah. If you're choosing to dress up like a vampire for Halloween, you're a sexual predator. Like that. I just feel like your whole thing is to be scary, but also like interesting enough to allow people to like, you want to get close to someone, and then as soon as they let their guard down, you're like, you get them, right? A werewolf, that's a person who tries really hard to be good all month long, and then for like 12 hours, an insatiable urge takes over, and they're helpless to it. But the rest of the month, they're trying to make up for that one bad. A vampire is, his whole life is trying to eat or convert people to his way of life. A vampire is the pedophile of. It is. If your kid goes out as a ghost, they're depressed. If your kid goes out as a vampire, you should watch what they're looking at online. I'm just saying, you should take a peek. A werewolf is there is someone who recognizes that you can't be good at all times, but they try. They try, and every now and then they break. Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay. Listen. Okay. First of all, you don't know any werewolves day to day. Okay. So you don't know.
You don't know if you don't know it. You don't know that.
I'm just saying, you don't know they're going to church every Sunday, and then on the full
vampires can't even get in the church.
Which, God bless. Okay. All right. Not a bad thing. I don't know if you've read about these churches, but some stuff is going down. Okay. So, okay, that's a point for the vampires.
Okay. All right.
But the whole werewolf thing is an allegory for sexual predators and or serial killers.
There's no way vampires aren't the same thing.
Okay, but I am making something up
Okay,
against
all right.
werewolves. So,
All right, go.
It's serial killers generally hit about once a month. They are usually hairy.
Okay.
What else can I make up? I don't know. I'm out of steam, but
I get it. I get it. All right, that's a solid defense.
Also,
however, hot take, I would say that serial killers not as bad as sexual predators.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would agree
with that. And I
with
would
that.
say that a vampire is way more of a sexual predator.
I'm
Your
not...
whole purpose in life is to let someone invite you in, get close to them, and then penetrate into their safe space, into their jugular, wherever, and try to convert them to your way of life.
I think you're just hating on vampires because they usually have speech impediments, and that is problematic.
Well...
You know, that's my vampire impression. Pretty solid vampire impression.
Wow. I mean, I can't believe you would throw a stereotype like that out.
Clip that.
Cut that.
No, I mean, that's a clip. That's a short right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Did you hear that, Johnny? Clip it. There's no one in here. All right. Here we go. Best Halloween candy. All right. Best Halloween candy. We've got chocolates like Kit Kat, Snickers, Reese's, Heath Bar.
All lumped into one.
Or you've got the sugary candies, Skittles, Laffy Taffy, Sour Patch Kids, all the Smarties and candy corn, like the sugar. You've got the sugary candies, the chocolate candies, and then opposed to that, the underdog, popcorn balls.
Listen, first of all, get the white trash out of here. All right, we are not doing popcorn balls.
I mean, I threw that in there just for you. You grew up in Granite City. I thought that maybe
I've had my fair share.
Oh yeah,
I've had popcorn balls. People just give me an apple like I'm gonna give a shit about that. I mean, now that I'm vegan, sure, but listen.
Do you have any vitamin B?
Listen, it's clearly chocolate. If you have Kit Kat and Snickers and Twix all in one category, you fucking those are the
I get it.
Those are the best candy bars. Period.
Yeah.
And let me just say, Laffy Taffy. Hey, I ain't got all day. All right, I want to eat my candy, and then I want to do some shit. It's time for video games.
That's a fair point. The only thing about that is that Sour Patch Kids do. I mean, that is the heavy hitter of the sugar candy world. You know what I mean?
Hot take: I would take Skittles over Sour Patch Kids.
I would also take Skittles over Sour Patch Kids, but I know that if I don't show Sour Patch Kids an equal representation, the masses will form against us and take over. So I'm just saying, I think I have to. I mean, I would love to debate it, and I would love to be able to play devil's advocate and throw out the popcorn balls as my choice. But we all know we avoided that house as children. We all knew once you get popcorn balls once, you don't go back.
Dude,
you know?
First hustle as a kid is whenever you finally start realizing, for me anyway, whenever I realize, oh wow, my family is real poor. And then Halloween, that first Halloween where you're like, I'm going to the neighborhood with the big houses. Oh, that was my first hustle. I was about 7 years old, and I was like, listen, it's only about a 20-minute walk. I'm here for it. 20-minute walk to
That's
get
not bad.
king-size candy bars. Are you kidding me? I was in the popcorn ball neighborhood. You know?
I came from one family just gave me a small toothbrush. They gave me a travel toothbrush.
Started from the popcorn balls. Now we're here.
Ooh.
Yep. I'm gonna write that down. That's a song.
All right. The next slide we've got here is we're gonna do best kid Halloween movies. Kid Halloween movies. So on the slide, I've got Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Hocus Pocus. Now, I will argue that I think Nightmare Before Christmas might actually be a Christmas movie and not a Halloween movie.
I would say it counts for both. If it's spooky, you could put it in Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Now, this is one that I might get some flack for because I love spooky things. I have never seen Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, and I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
But can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that great. I don't enjoy scary movies. I don't enjoy Halloween-ish stuff. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid, and then as an adult, when I would go back and like everybody would talk about how great Hocus Pocus is, I'd go and watch it. Like, this movie is trash,
dude. Okay,
it is garbage.
As a kid, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so I never had control of the TV growing up. So I never. I mean, again, I've heard Hocus. Well, actually, Monica and I recently watched Hocus Pocus, and not a fan, but also I'm 40, so
yeah.
There's that. But I didn't get to see a lot of the shit I wanted to see because my sister always had to watch like reruns of Young and the Restless for some reason.
Reruns of a soap opera.
Well, sorry, she would record them VCR days. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But I would say Beetlejuice because as soon as this year started getting a little bit chilly at night, like Beetlejuice is the first Halloweenish movie Monica and I watched. So, pow, that one wins. We picked it for a reason.
Can I tell you what movie brought me just sheer terror as a kid? And it's not on this list. It was a Disney Channel movie called Don't Look Under the Bed. And it was all about how your imaginary friend would then become the boogeyman if you stopped believing in them.
What?
Terrifying.
How old were you?
34.
Oh, man.
I'm a year older than I am now. No. Yeah, next summer, this thing's going to pop. No, I couldn't have been more than 8 or 9. Oh, my gosh. One of the scariest movies I've ever been. That tea, just so you know, is kind of teetering on a cord.
Oh, shit.
Don't
worry. It's mostly empty.
That's fine.
That's
I don't care. You would not be the first person to spill.
Hold on.
You would be the first person to spill due to pure accident and not intoxication. I'll give you that.
There. Got to make it easier.
There you go. Do whatever you got to do.
And then hopefully not spill that. There's a screen.
You're good. Yeah, it's a pop filter, so that way all the peas don't come through.
Shoot.
This might be a janky studio, but I'm doing some things right. Yeah, I got to go with Beetlejuice. I think you're with me on that. The problem is that we're friends and that we think similarly, so it's like it's hard to find. We keep finding common ground.
Tally me banana. It's so.
Well, Winona Ryder, man, back in the day.
Yeah, she was cool.
She was the best.
She was cool.
Pretty cool.
Also, like, I don't know. I didn't think I realized this until probably a couple years ago that I was like, yeah, all of the spooky bitches, those were all the ones I had crushes on as a kid.
Okay, name the spooky. Which ones are the spooky?
I can't remember. I'm terrible with celebrities.
Oh, that's right.
I'm just saying, you see somebody and they got,
Do you remember like a movie they were in?
they're all emoed out. I'm just like, And that's probably why I got into screamo music.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got away from the music category. I'll watch you spend 7 minutes describing why
Bands you've never
Good
heard
Charlotte
of.
is better.
Okay.
Like,
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. I just that was the first band that popped in mind. I don't listen to music. Everybody can't believe it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe you guys are weird for constantly needing background noise. Huh? Maybe I'm not weird for being able to be alone with my thoughts. Maybe you guys are freaks.
Oh yeah, this thing that like automatically elicits emotion. Oh yeah, that's so bad.
Well, what's wrong with just feeling your own emotions?
I know you. You don't feel emotions.
I feel them. I just choose not to show them. Unless it's anger. That way.
Yeah, you can't help that.
Just.
Sorry, I just thought of the donut story. And
Do you have to? Okay.
No,
tell the donut story. Tell it. You brought it up. You might. As well
I don't 100% remember how it went.
I do.
I just remember a dude being a dick to me that I didn't even realize he was being a dick.
Oh, no, that drove me nuts. It was you and Tommy Mosslander, and it was when I was working at the Comedy Club in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and I could never get any St. Louis comedians to come down and try it out, even though the owner was like, hey, if comedians come down here, they can get 7 minutes on stage instead of just 4, and I'll start booking hosts and features. And I was like, guys, this is a good opportunity. You should come. You should come. You should come. Nobody would ever come. You and Tommy Mosslander drove down 1 week, and this guy, I don't even remember his name. I just remember he wore a red hat all the time, and he came up to you, and he had a box of Krispy Kreme donuts because there was a Krispy Kreme across the parking lot. And he was being just bad. He was just being a dick to you and Tommy, like making fun of you, but like in ways that you couldn't pick up because it was like, he was like making faces while you were talking and stuff. And I was standing right there, and I basically just snapped and I started screaming at him because he was being mean. And then I was like, you know what? Give him your donuts. Give him your donuts. And he gave you the box of donuts. And I was like, now get out. And he left. And you were like, I've never seen another adult
say, give him your donuts.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but I was just like, he needs to make like some type of apology.
Penance,
like, yeah. That's it. Now you don't get glazed donuts because you were mean to a blind guy. Give him your donuts.
These donuts not yours anymore.
Yeah,
you don't deserve.
And you're like, I don't actually eat Krispy Kreme donuts. And I was like, well, whatever. You have them now.
I think Tommy probably brought him home to his dad.
I think Tommy probably ate them. I mean,
yeah.
All 65 pounds of Tommy Mosslander.
I don't know.
Shout out Tommy if you're out there.
Well, yeah, he'll probably listen. Tommy's a good egg.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. There for a while. Tommy's so weird. He sometimes just goes on streaks where the only thing he eats is Quick Trip hot dogs. Just a weird guy.
And he's like, I wonder why his heart's bad. You know. Poor Tom. I mean, I don't know. If you're given an expiration date, you might as well just go for it, right?
Yeah, I guess. I would eat something a little bit tastier than a Quick Trip hot dog, but...
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we've got adult scary movies. So we did the kind of kid stuff. Now we've got the 3 I have on here. Friday the 13th, Scream, and Halloween.
Okay.
Best Halloween or scary movie.
I mean, hands down, Scream.
Yeah, but I can't argue with that. To be honest, I'm not sure if I've even seen the original Halloween.
Dude, anything from the 80s, it just doesn't hold up. 100%. And then they remake it until it's just shittier and shittier. But if you go back now in 2023 and watch the original Halloween, you're like, so what? He's walking slow. Every once in a while, he pops out from behind a door.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Scream was pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I can never remember his name, but whoever directed The Conjuring, James Wan? Maybe, something like that. Anything he directs, Monica and I will see immediately. Those are the best scary movies today.
Really?
But legit, last night we watched Scream.
I was never into scary movies. The first scary movie I ever saw was The Grudge, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that.
Well, you don't need a scary movie.
I was like 15.
You were in the war.
My life's a scary movie.
I've seen enough shit.
I do think that, so honestly, one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me is I had a very lucid dream one time that I was like much older.
I thought that was like an individual cigarette you could sell. Call back.
A lucid dream. Nice.
I tried, but man, it got crickets.
Yeah, it took me a second, but I got you. I'm with you. The folks at home got it.
Yeah,
the comments are coming in. They appreciate it.
I'm just trying to let you know I was here for the whole conversation.
I appreciate it. I just wanted you to know I've been paying attention. No, I did have a very lucid dream one time, and then I woke up and I was still on deployment. Like I had dreamt that like we had come home and I was like moved on with my life and stuff, and then I woke up and I'm like, I'm still here. And so there are times where when I'm waking up, I will very slowly open my eyes like, has it all been a dream? Am I still going to be back there? Like, I wait for it sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when things are going really good. I'm like, I'm about to wake up.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm about to wake up and I'm going to be back in boot camp or something.
If either of us were currently in a dream and we're both just low-level comedians, even in our dreams, we're just like, this isn't going well.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yes, even in my dreams, I'm making $30 a show at the Funny Bone.
This is all we hope for.
This is all we aspire to be. Yeah, I dreamt about Ben Johnson getting a feature weekend, like, and being like, I wish that I could do it. That would be.
You're jealous in your own dream.
In my own dream, I'm dreaming about others achieving their dreams and me watching just from the outside, just like, oh, good for him. One day it'll be me.
That got me.
Well, good.
My face hurts.
Good. Yay, we did it. I mean,
maybe if I keep working on it, 10 more years from now.
It reminds me, there was an old episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob could go into other people's dreams, and he goes up to Patrick, and Patrick's just on like a mechanical horse, like just riding it. And then he's like, Patrick, this is a dream. You can do whatever you want. And he's like, I know. And then SpongeBob leaves and the ride stops and he pulls out a quarter and drops it and it goes into the drain. He goes, oh, that was my last quarter. And he just sits there. And it's like, that's us. We're dreaming about like, oh, maybe I'll get a feature weekend. Oh.
One day, man.
Yeah. Woo. All right. So the last question I asked,
since it's the end of the podcast, I will say full disclosure, didn't want to be here, but I had a good time.
Yeah, that's what we're going
Look
for.
at that.
I knew you didn't, because for those of you at home, I have been trying to schedule Nick to come on this podcast for over a year, and to no avail. I understand that he can't drive himself, so it is, a bit of a inconvenience, but we could have figured this out.
But the true reality was that I just didn't want to do it that much. But in my defense, okay, I told you this in the car right here, but I'm going to say it again for the folks. Socializing is not my thing. So I was like, the worst part about me in comedy is conversations at clubs. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know if we want the worst aspect of me to be filmed.
No, but you're fun to hang out with. We went we went on a tour together to Mason City, Illinois.
What was the most fun part? When I got a concussion?
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. For those of you, there was an outdoor park with a pull-up bar, and Nick grabbed it and pulled himself up with the most ease because he's actually very fit. And he pulled himself up and just hit his head straight on the bar. And his girlfriend and I just lost. I mean,
Nobody helped.
We were
You
crying.
guys didn't even think about helping.
I was trying so
I
hard
was
not
still
to pee
dangling.
myself. You were dangling. You were just holding there going, ow.
Because I didn't know what was underneath me, so I was like, if I let go, it's gonna happen again.
And we're just rolling on the ground. Oh, the back of my head hurt. I was laughing so hard.
Dude, just last night, we're watching Scream. Monica pauses it. She's like, "Hey, you want to go grab the cookies?" I was like, "You damn right. I want to go grab the cookies, right?" And I run out of the room. I run back into the bedroom, and I kicked the fucking computer chair so hard. I have a knot on my shin that is insane right now. And she laughed at a place that, I mean, she was making this noise. She was going because she knew I was in pain and she was trying to like smother the laugh. But ooh, every day.
There's nothing better than laughing at a situation you're not supposed to laugh at.
Honestly, it's one of those things because I am blind and I am 40. So the fact that people still laugh when I get injured in a way is comforting because in a very short amount of time, it's going to be like, oh my God. It's going to turn to genuine concern.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You know that's when you're too old.
Oh.
When you get hurt and people are scared.
Yeah.
Like when I dislocated my knee.
Well, I also think you and Monica are just bad people, but...
Well, I mean, jury's out. You know what I mean? But like when I dislocated my knee in Austin outside of Joe Rogan's comedy club and all of his door guys went, oh. Not like a, ha, he fell. Like, because I rolled my left ankle and then just drove my right knee into a cobblestone sidewalk and dislocated my knee. And I popped up like super fast and people were just like grimacing like, oh no, this guy's really hurt. And I made a joke about it. I was like, I'm suing. Who owns this place? Ha, 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 you know?
Yeah.
And then hobbled my way to the back of the open mic line to sign up. And everybody was like, I started sweating profusely. And Ronaldo and Ben Johnson and everybody were like, what's wrong with you? And I rolled up my pant leg and everybody just goes, oh my God. Like Ronaldo, not Ronaldo, but Gaffigan went, like that. He was like, oh, I can't look at that. I can't look at it. Oh my gosh. I took a picture of it and the Mothership Instagram page shared it because it was so bad looking. They were like, look at this idiot.
Dude, I just love going back to the thought that this is just a dream.
Your
dream isn't...
In my dream, my body is dilapidated.
You're not even on stage. You're just hobbling yourself outside of a comedy club.
In 105-degree heat in the back of a line of 78 people all trying to get 12 slots. And did I make it? No.
Did any of you guys?
Yeah. Ben Johnson and Ronaldo made it. On Ronaldo's birthday, actually, which is kind of cool. The only problem is they don't let anybody come in and they don't let anybody record it. And you don't, if you're on the open mic, you don't even get to go in the club. You have to wait outside and then they bring you in one at a time, lead you straight to stage. And when you're done, they lead you straight off stage and out of the club. Because I guess people have been hanging around like, I want to meet Joe. I want to meet Ron White, whatever. And I get it.
I hate that.
The problem with open mics, or the great thing about an open mic, is that anyone who signs up can get 5 minutes. The problem with open mics is anyone that can sign up can get 5 minutes, you know? So you never know what kind of characters are coming through the door.
I hate those shows where they don't let you in, though. You know, like my prelim round at Helium this year, somebody who was on the show, luckily they went over their time, but I think they brought their entire church.
Yeah.
Okay, so the showroom was so packed we had to sit.
I wonder who that could be. I'm good. You don't have to say.
Okay, I'll tell you after. But dude, we had to sit in the garage the whole time and not knowing if it was a good, like, you know, it's packed, like to the 0 seats available. And not knowing if they're having a good time or not, it stressed me out so fucking much.
Oh, yeah, I have to be in the room. Because what if you can make a joke about something that's happened earlier in the night?
Yeah.
Like, to just go in blind?
100%. Oh, yeah. Good one, Eric. Yeah. This
I'm so sorry.
This is why he brought me here. You're worse than Channel 5.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. I remember. Do you remember that weekend we worked with Aaron Weber, and I creeped him out?
Yeah.
And which, oh my gosh, so, we're working at this club, and you're featuring. I'm hosting. He's headlining, and man, I really I just came off weird and awkward and stuff, whatever. But then you and Monica and Kelly and I went out to dinner afterwards, and I said something about like, yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. I think I completely blindsided him. And you were just like, wow, I'm right here. And I just started laughing so hard. That was a fun weekend, man.
Yeah.
I miss, the last time he was in town, I saw him and he asked about you. He asked if you were still.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he remember my name or just say the blind guy?
No, he said, he did say your name.
Fuck yeah.
But he did follow it up with, and he kind of did the John Cena hand in front of the face thing. And I was like, yeah, Nick, he's still doing it. Still.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it anytime somebody remembers my name and not the blind one. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yeah. Well, it's better than what they call me.
You have a lot of nicknames.
I know. Sometimes I would like to see what other people say when I'm not around.
I call you Juicy Grundle.
Juicy Grundle. That was actually my nickname in high school. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I didn't know you knew that.
I had to do a lot of research to get that one.
Okay. Last question I ask everybody before we get out of here is, what's the best way to fix this podcast?
Whew. Oh, man. Let's talk about it, shall we? Okay. First of all, hate this microphone. My hand's getting cramped. All right.
You can set it on the
Listen,
armrest and bend it over.
Oh my God.
An hour and 15 minutes in.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I'd say make these suggestions at the beginning of the show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I guess that's on me. That's on me.
Okay, obviously get better guests because who the fuck am I? Yeah, that's it. Make your mouse work.
Yeah, right? That was annoying.
But other than that, no, this is good. This is a good show. I like how it's just fun.
Good.
It's fun.
I'm glad.
We're probably not going to get canceled for anything we said except that owl talk.
The Owl Defamation League is definitely coming after us after this.
Not all owl
The
views.
barn owl. We forgot about the barn owl.
You mentioned the barn
Did
owl.
I? Did I mention the barn?
You horned barn, and I think you had one other fake owl in there somewhere. Yeah,
No.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The only owl that actually doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. You got yourself a great show here.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody, make sure you follow Nick online. I'll put your Instagram and Facebook.
At Nicholas Cuvar on everything, I think.
Yeah, I'll put it up so that way people can see it. Do you have any shows coming up that you want to promote?
Okay, I'm doing Kyle Williams' show.
Fun.
October 20th. It's at the Cola Lounge. It's a cannabis show, so I'm going to be the odd man out as the sober fella. I'm going to Tatros and Festus on November 4th. And if anybody's in like the central Illinois area, I'm opening for Matthew Broussard from November 30th to December 1st in Monticello, Illinois. So check that one.
Matthew Broussard, you're gonna have fun. I guarantee.
Dude, I met
That was a
him
Louisiana accent.
whenever I went to Austin during the pandemic, because it was the only, I was like, hey,
Yeah.
stage time would be cool. I was just doing a random outdoor coffee shop, and he was the headliner, and he was so fucking nice. So he's hilarious. He's one of the best joke writers, and I'm really excited.
I think that kind of goes in with what we were talking about earlier. People kind of give you an extra dash of politeness. Get away with stuff
for sure. But he was a sweetheart to everybody.
Oh,
and he's a killer. I love Broussard.
Shout out, Mr. Broussard.
And he talks about how he's attractive on stage, but I can confirm even his voice is attractive. Well, see you, everybody.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.